Today, we're uncovering the veil of secrecy surrounding some of the most clandestine locations on Earth. Buckle up for a wild ride as we explore secret government sites. You won't believe these illegal places exist. Number 15. The Vatican Secret Archives. Deep in the heart of Vatican City, hidden in a very old secret, is the Vatican Apostolic Archive. It's like a big collection of historical stories. This special place is where the Holy See has kept every important paper since forever. A long time ago, Pope Paul V started the Vatican Apostolic Archive. It was so secret that even smart people only got a quick look. But then, Pope Leo XIII opened the doors for researchers in the late 1800s. Now, more than 1,000 curious minds explore the 85 kilometers of shelves and 35,000 volumes that tell the Church's story. Inside these special walls, there's a lot of historical drama. Letters from Henry VI asking to end his marriage, transcripts of Galileo's trial for heresy, and even Michelangelo complaining about unpaid work in the Sistine Chapel. But getting inside is not easy. Only a few smart scholars who know about history and archives can go there. They can only take 5 documents at a time, and they can only do it 60 times a day. They have to use paper and pen. No computers, ink, or digital cameras allowed. It's a careful process to get the old papers. Number 13. Rath Menwith Hill. Rath Menwith Hill is a secretive place near Harrogate in North Yorkshire, England. It's not like the peaceful English countryside you might imagine. Instead, it's a really important centre for communication and intelligence. It helps both the United Kingdom and the United States. What makes Menwith Hill special isn't its beautiful surroundings, but its strong infrastructure. It has a big satellite ground station that does 2 important jobs. It intercepts communications and warns about missiles. This station is famous as the world's biggest electronic monitoring place, keeping an eye on things globally. Menwith Hill also plays a crucial role for satellites, working closely with the US National Reconnaissance Office and the NSA. You'll notice big white domes, often called golf balls, covering antennas. These antennas are part of the global intelligence system. Some people believe Menwith Hill is a key part of the Echelon system, a worldwide electronic communication interception network. Keeping the place secure is a big deal. The Ministry of Defence Police guards it, and they're ready to respond quickly to any threats. The British government made it a serious crime to trespass at Rath Menwith Hill in 2006 under the Serious Organised Crime and Police Act of 2005. Number 12. Mesor. Mesor is a hidden town in Russia, in a place called the Republic of Bashkortostan. It's in the Ural Mountains, and it's a secret town where people live quietly. Closed towns like Mesor are from the past, and they are known for being mysterious and silent. Maps might not show them, and the people who live there keep everything a secret. Mesor got its name in 1979, but it became known in 1995. It's often compared to Area 51 in the United States. Rumors say different things about Mesor, like it having a nuclear missile base or a big underground complex. In 2010, the official count said there were about 177,000 people, but the real truth is hard to know. The mystery deepens because of Mount Yamato, a nearby mountain. Russia says it's just a mine, but the United States thinks it might be a secret military complex like Cheyenne Mountain or Raven Rock Mountain. There's a lot of confusion and suspicion about Mesor, making it even more mysterious in the Ural Mountains. Number 11. Niho Island. Niho Island is a special place near the sunny beaches of Kauai. It's like a hidden treasure that hasn't changed for a long time. This island has kept the spirit of early Hawaii and seems like a secret sanctuary rising from the ocean. Only about 70 people live here full-time, and you can only visit if you're invited by the family that has owned the island since 1864. For the lucky few who get to stay on Niho, there are no modern things like paved roads, hospitals, police stations, or grocery stores. They don't have indoor plumbing either. Instead, people here use rainwater and a few solar panels for basic needs. This place is frozen in time, and it's special because it's not like the rest of the world. Some parts of the island are now open for small tours, so people can get a peek at this unique and exclusive paradise. One interesting thing about Niho is that it's a linguistic sanctuary. It's the last place where Hawaiian is the main language, and it has its own special way of speaking called Wu Kanaka Niha. This language is closer to the original Hawaiian from before missionaries came and changed it. Back in 1864, Elizabeth Sinclair bought Niho for only $10,000. The Robinson family has owned it ever since, passing it down through generations. Even though people talk about how amazing Niho is, it's still off limits to most people. Only the Robinson family, some of their relatives, a few Navy personnel, some government officials, and a select few guests can go there. Number 10. Pyin Bunker. Deep underground in Stockholm, Sweden, on Södermalm in the White Mountains, there's a special place called the Pyin Bunker. It used to be a civil defense center to keep the government safe in 1943. But in 2008, a company called Bahnhof turned it into a high-tech data center, mixing technology and innovation. Bahnhof, a Swedish internet service provider, took on the challenge of turning a nuclear shelter into a cutting-edge data center. The project, carried out in 2007 and 2008, involved removing over 4,000 cubic meters of rock to create a 1,200 square meter space. Pyin is more than just a data center. It's a blend of security, sustainability, and a bit of science fiction charm. Buried 100 feet under solid Stockholm bedrock, Pyin is super secure. It has a 15-inch thick door and a secret entrance tunnel designed to withstand serious threats. This data center can even handle the impact of a hydrogen bomb. But what makes it really cool is the interior, which is inspired by Hollywood movies like The Empire Strikes Back and James Bond. Pyin is not just a safe place for data, it's also a hub for Bahnhof's operations. It played host to WikiLeaks servers in 2010, adding an extra layer of intrigue. As part of Bahnhof's data center network, Pyin is not just a data haven, but also a central point for managing 5 data centers across Sweden. Number 9. The Bank of England Gold Vault. Under the busy streets of London, there's a special place called the Bank of England Gold Vault. It's like a secret underground castle full of money and history. This place is on Threadneedle Street. Even though it looks normal, it holds a lot of the world's gold, about 1/5 of it. That's a huge amount, worth over £172 billion, or $250 billion. It's like a really strong place for money around the world. The vault is under the old Bank of England building and has about 5,100 tons of gold inside. That's most of the 6,200 tons of gold kept safely under London's streets. A BBC reporter visited the vault, which has 300,000 square feet of space. It's like a quiet place where they keep gold bars neatly organised on blue shelves. Each bar weighs about 12 kilograms and is worth around £250,000. These gold bars are like a signal for people who want a safe place for their money when the financial markets are not stable. The gold in the vault comes in different shapes, some like loaves of bread or with slanted edges to make them easier to handle. It's like a real representation of how much money there is around the world. Even though the Bank of England doesn't have the most gold globally, it's like a protector of a big part of it because of how the gold is delivered in London. There's a special system for delivering big gold bars, and it makes London an important place for gold trading. The vaults were built in the 1930s, so they have a lot of history. They mix tradition with modern security to keep the gold safe. People need special keys, which are about 30 feet long, to get in. It's an old-fashioned way, but experts think it's really safe. There are also electronic protections. Visitors have to say a password into a microphone for voice confirmation. This is like an extra modern way to make sure everything stays secure. Number 8. The Granite Mountain Record Vault. In the middle of Utah's Wasatch Range, there's a big rock called Granite Mountain. It may seem normal, but it holds a lot of important history. Even though it's called Granite Mountain, it's mostly made of quartz monzonite, which is similar to granite. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints built something special here in 1965, the Granite Mountain Record Vault. It's a safe place for important records, especially a huge collection of family history microfilms. This vault is carved 600 feet into the north side of Little Cottonwood Canyon to keep everything safe. It's a secure place because it has strict rules for who can enter, strong doors, a water reservoir inside, and the right temperature and humidity. The vault has 6 chambers where they keep over 2.4 million rolls of microfilm and over 1 million microfiches. That's around 3 billion pages of family history records. Starting in 1999, they also started turning these records into digital images, making it much easier. The records include family information, birth and death records, wills, and more. But the vault doesn't just hold family history. It's also a deep archive for lots of church materials, like scriptures in different languages, temple books, meeting notes, financial records, and even audiovisual masters. Everything is kept safe inside the strong walls of Granite Mountain. Number 7. Iron Mountain Underground. In western Pennsylvania's hills, there's a surprising place called Iron Mountain Underground. In Butler County, a tall fence with razor wire surrounds the entrance to a special facility hidden beneath the ground. This facility is Iron Mountain's main archive, located in a huge abandoned limestone mine spanning 1,000 acres. Guarded by security with guns, the archive goes down 22 stories, creating an intricate underground structure with corridors and steel doors. Room 48 in the archive is like a test area. It's been running for only 6 months and focuses on using geothermal conditions and engineering to save energy. Unlike regular data centers, Room 48 doesn't have a raised floor. Instead, wires float above the server racks, getting cool air from the limestone walls. The HVAC system uses water from an underground lake, and natural light comes in through special tubes in the ceiling to keep the room cool. Charles Doty, Iron Mountain's Vice President of Engineering, guides visitors through this amazing underground place. With 37 years of experience in the mine, he's always working to make the perfect environment for storing paper and electronic records. The underground area, called the Underground by employees, has things like a cafe, a fire department, and golf carts to help the 27,700 workers move around the tunnels. Number 6. The New York Federal Gold Vault. In the middle of Manhattan's financial district, there's a really special place called the New York Federal Gold Vault. It's like a hidden treasure under the ground, about 80 feet below the sidewalks. The vault is in the bedrock and keeps a huge amount of gold, around 7,000 tons. That's like 5% of all the gold ever found. Getting into this underground place is not easy. You have to go through a round passage that turns when you move a wheel. Once you align the passage with the hallway, you can get inside. Inside, there are 122 small vaults, each for a specific country. There's also a library vault for people with smaller amounts of gold. Each gold bar in the vault is special and different from others in terms of purity and weight. Surprisingly, this place is not just for rich people. It's mainly used by countries, not millionaires. Some say that banks like the Bank of England, Bank of France, and Deutsche Bank are among the customers. These countries choose to keep their gold in New York because it's in the center and easy to access. The system also helps them transfer gold between countries easily, and it only costs $2 for each transfer. What's really cool is that this gold vault lets the public take tours. It's not common for such secure places to allow this. Even though booking a tour is not always easy, the fact that they let regular people see inside is different from other places, like the Gold Bullion Depository at Fort Knox, which doesn't allow reporters, members of Congress, or even former presidents to enter. They can only look from outside. Number 5. Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove is a special place that started in 1872 for journalists, artists, and musicians. Over time, it became an exclusive club for men and a secret society in the United States. The club's headquarters, located at Poston Taylor, has plaques with owls and the motto, "Weaving spiders come not here." Originally, it was a creative hub for famous people like Ambrose Bierce, Mark Twain, and Jack London. Later, it opened its doors to local businessmen and entrepreneurs. The club is known for its camp, where members from around the world gather for male bonding and some wild activities. One famous ritual involves members relieving themselves on redwood trees to show dominance over nature. The club has a tradition called the cremation of cares, where members symbolically burn away the burdens of their outside lives. The Bohemian Club has famous members like George Bush, Henry Kissinger, and board members from companies like Halliburton and Bank of America. Despite its original focus on enjoyment rather than networking, historical accounts suggest that secret talks at the Grove played a role in important events like Richard Nixon's 1967 presidential campaign, the Manhattan Project, and shaping international policies. Getting into the Bohemian Club is tough for outsiders, adding to its mysterious reputation. Unless you're lucky enough to know an old family friend, learning the secrets of the club is a difficult task, kept among its privileged members. Number 4. Bold Lane Car Park. Bold Lane Car Park in Derbyshire, England, is known for being the world's safest multi-storey car park. It's run by ParkSafe Systems. Even though there are cheaper options nearby, people prefer it because of its security. The car park was built in the 1970s and it became super secure in the 1990s. Back then, it had a lot of crime and drug problems. So, they added high-tech stuff like barcodes, sensors, and barriers that react to security issues. The land where the car park is used to be a park in 1920 called Bowden's Pat. In the 1970s, they changed it, and the car park we know today was born in 1974. In the 1990s, it became a place for bad behaviour, and the Derby City Council joined with ParkSafe Systems to fix it up and make it safe. The car park has 315 spots, each with high-tech security like CCTV. They renovated it in 2010, and since then there hasn't been any theft or vandalism for 23 years. That's all thanks to the security. Ken Wigley, an agricultural engineer and owner of ParkSafe Systems, designed the security after his car got broken into at an airport. He used ideas from his farming background to create sensors that can detect any movement around parked cars. This design was used in Bold Lane Car Park, and it quickly reduced car theft. When you enter the car park, you get a barcode ticket that's connected to a specific parking spot. This ticket, along with payment, activates or deactivates the sensors under the car. There's a control room with someone watching 200 cameras, and they also keep an eye on the pedestrian entrances and emergency buttons. Bold Lane Car Park shows how technology can be used for top-notch security. Number 3. White's. White's is a very old and special club in London. It started in 1693 as a small place selling hot chocolate in St. James. Now, it's the oldest gentlemen's club in London and one of the most exclusive. At first, it was just a hot chocolate shop on Fort Chesterfield Street in Mayfair, founded by an Italian immigrant named Francesco Baiano. It was called Mrs. White's Chocolate House. They also sold tickets to shows. Over time, it turned from a tea shop into a fancy club. In the early 1700s, it became known for gambling, and people called its members the Gamesters of White's. Famous people like Charles Ely and the Prince of Wales were part of the club. Even David Cameron, a former British Prime Minister, was a member for 15 years because his father chaired the club. The club's building at 37 to 38 James Street is really old, built in 1674 and rebuilt in 1787. It got some changes in 1811 and a new front in 1852. Although the club doesn't have rooms for members to stay in, it has nice facilities like a dining room, billiards room, library, and cards room for socializing, private dinners, and fun. White's is unique with its smaller bar compared to other clubs. This character even appears in a spy novel called The Sixth Column by Peter Fleming, where the club is thinly disguised as Blacks. The novel describes the bar and its cozy atmosphere, giving a peek into why it's smaller. Number 2. Club 33. Club 33 is a special and secret place in Disneyland where famous and rich people can go. It's like a private hideaway for celebrities and successful business people. Even though it's very exclusive, Disney fans are curious about it. It's not just a fancy restaurant, it's super fancy and luxurious. It was made for people who really want privacy and are willing to spend a lot of money for it. The club started because of Walt Disney's experience in a fair in 1964. General Electric wanted to sponsor a ride, and they asked Walt to build a private lounge. That's how Club 33 started in Maine, 1967. The original club had antique stuff and art, with 2 dining rooms that were really elegant. Over time, the club changed and got modern updates in 2014. A chef named Gloria Tay, the first woman chef, now leads the kitchen team, making delicious food in a new and fancy setting. Not just anyone can join Club 33. It's a special privilege for a few people. There's a waiting list that some say is over 15 years long. It costs a lot of money to join, with a big initial payment and yearly fees. You can't just pay your way in. You need a special invitation based on your fame, influence, and prestige. It's a really exclusive club, and only invited people can be members. Number 1. The Ise Grand Shrine. The Ise Grand Shrine is a special place in the middle of Japan. It's one of the most interesting spots in the country's history. The old and detailed temple is considered very sacred in Japan. Every 20 years, they rebuild the whole thing. It's not just about building. It's also a special ceremony rooted in Shinto beliefs from a long time ago, around the 8th century. The shrine has been rebuilt every 20 years since then. It's not an upgrade. They make an exact copy in a different place. The latest one was finished in 2013, and they're planning the 63rd reconstruction for 2033. It's not just this shrine. 124 other shrines in the area do the same thing. Here's how it works. They choose a new spot near the shrine for the next copy, marked by a symbolic hut and a 7-meter pole. When 20 years pass, they build the new shrine around the pole and take down the old one in a special ceremony. Why spend so much money on this? Well, it's all about the deep meaning in Shinto beliefs. The ritual shows the idea of nature dying and coming back to life, reminding us that everything is temporary. It's a way to pass on special architectural skills to the next generations and keep a unique tradition alive. Whether you think it's a great tradition or a waste of money, the Ise Grand Shrine is both one of the oldest and newest buildings in Japan at the same time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.